Speaking of Vikings.
Look at him. Oh, and he's...
Speaking of Vikings and Haggard, John Gooder has entered the chat. What's up, fellas?
There's the intro. Fellas, come on.
Love to see it. We are
know.
out here, Vikings
don't
Weekly.
know.
We're live at Barney's Beanery today, getting ready for the draft. Thursday, the most important, pretty much time of the year, really, because every single team has hope. So we're out here with Kat. We're out here with Luke. We got John, and he is not driving, so don't worry.
Why are you always
Not driving. This is a green screen behind me.
Another green screen.
Yeah. We're high tech here at Vikings Weekly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm legit gonna pull over here actually to do this. I want to have like succinct thoughts.
So I don't even know
All
if
right,
I can.
guys.
Yeah, Johnny.
This week, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, the penultimate day of the draft. Are you guys feeling nervous or what? I know I am.
You're looking
I don't
hyped
know why
today.
there's nerves.
Why are you so hyped?
There's nerves involved, but I'm nervous for my squad.
Yeah. What are you nervous about?
I think we're going to see some guys move. Dalvin Cook will be ushered stage left. We're going to probably draft a quarterback higher than I'd like.
So good.
There's going to be drama. There's going to be things that are happening. We're going to, what's your favorite Dalvin Cook memory? He's out the door.
Checking
Dad,
it all out
I've always been a DC guy, but unfortunately,
Great.
looks like he'll be moved. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are the chances Dalvin Cook's out? 100%?
Luke, you know all the answers. This is Q over here. He's got all the answers for us.
Yeah, we've shortened my name to Q. Apparently, Luke is too difficult to say.
Luke, what's up, man?
Q
Tell me what you
bringing
think.
the A. Okay, so yeah, I agree. Dalvin, I think, is gone. I think the money.
Before Thursday.
I think on draft day.
Okay.
I'm very
On
curious.
draft day.
We've had some. There have been random rumblings. Like I saw something. I think you actually sent it to me, or we posted it on Vikings Weekly about the Vikings moving up to 2. Like, if I see something, if I see that happen, I'm gonna throw my remote at the TV as hard as I possibly can because we.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
you just don't think that there's value there to
No.
draft someone at 2 if we really like
I'm hearing
Levis?
Anthony Richards.
we're
now.
gonna have to hedge the future if that's the case, and we're a good enough team to compete now. So if we hedge the future and get rid of everything for a quarterback, when we need so many other positions, like
Exactly.
you're basically just punting this season and being like, we're not going to help the current team as it is. We're not going to help Kirk. We're just going to get ready for, Kirk's replacement down the road.
And
then
why
we have
would
no
we do this
picks.
with the division?
We
looking
have
the way
no
it is?
picks to help him out. Like we
Right.
need a lot of stuff.
See, but for me, it almost feels like this is a place where we have to build around Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a rebuild year for me more than just plug and place. We have a playoff.
But then
team.
how does a brand new quarterback fit into that ideal?
Well, just it almost feels like we're starting with scraps again. Because I could only because what we talked about last week was with not having the identity of the squad yet.
Yeah.
But you think we're still in a plug and play 3 to 4 pieces and we have something.
Yes.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't look. If a quarterback falls to us at 23, by all means, take him. Like if someone falls into your lap that's too good to miss out on, and you've done your homework, and that's the guy, you go get him. This is a quarterback league. If you don't have a top 10 quarterback or a quarterback who can step in and have a top 10 season, you're not going to win anything.
But-
it's the same guys making it every year with the occasional Jalen, who should have been MVP, coming in and having that outlier season maybe, but you have to have that guy. So since we probably don't have that guy, I'm fine with taking a guy if he falls to us only. But if we start giving away our future first round picks,
Sure.
we're going to end up with a quarterback
Right.
in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we can't
And
win
then
All
we
shit.
right,
can't
well, in
anything.
that same breath, Luke, in that same breath, if we don't take quarterback and hedge our future, what are we doing then trading Dalvin Cook?
We don't have any money.
I think it's just a money play. We ran 28th most in the NFL last year. We had the 27th best rushing attack in the league last year. We're done with rushing. This team is all protect the quarterback, throw downfield. But Madison actually, you see the value of
He's
running
reliable.
backs. He's good. He's reliable. We paid him more than backups get, so I think he will be our starter come week
Mhm.
1.
Well, and teams are built on no-name running backs now.
Yeah.
It's you kind of felt like Fournette was going to come into the league and kind of change the
Oh my
game
God. Yeah.
Adrian did. And it just proved you can't leverage a team for a guy like that.
And he's a free agent right now.
You can't
so-
build around a back anymore.
Yeah. No,
Do
he's a
we
free
really
agent.
Yeah,
want,
you
though, a
look at
quarterback?
what Kwesi's more of a Moneyball guy, and yeah, he's just not going to put so much value and so much money towards the running back position, especially, Dalvin not getting the usage that he deserves, rightfully so. I think he's got to go to a program that's going to give him the touches that he wants and feels like they can utilize him in the best way. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Madison and Ty Chandler and Nwangwu and all those guys.
Yeah.
But it does take a little bit of a spark away from us. I think that Dalvin did give us a little bit of untangible stuff. You could see that big long touchdown run we had.
Yeah.
What week was that?
The receiving.
But it's it is what it is. I think there are more pressing concerns, especially on the D line, O line. There are all these. We got to go linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sucks. Like, I love Delvin so much. He deserves a team that would build around him like McCaffrey has. Because I do think he has a lot of those intangible skills.
Mm-hmm.
But we did nothing for him last
No.
year. It was embarrassing.
No, we brought on a Rams, the little brother of the Rams. Like, he wants to do a Rams-style Sean McVay offense, build around quarterback, wide receiver. We've got Kirk Cousins is not far off from Stafford. I know
Sure.
we had to go head-to-head with him for so many years,
Yeah.
but it's a very similar structure like that. We've got the Cooper Kupp in Justin Jefferson, and they abandoned the run once they got McVay as well. They, were kind of matching that, and I'm curious to see what Kwesi does with a full, well, it's not really a full slate of picks. We don't have a second, but a few picks. Let's see what he can do,
we need
to
a
build the rest
running
of
back
that
like
team.
McKinnon was, like back in the day.
Well, he had a great season with Kansas
He's
City,
also
too.
available.
Yeah.
Fournette and McKinnon are
Yeah.
available.
Right,
Yeah.
but when we found him, he's like a
I don't want you right now.
a scat back, doesn't need any blockers in front of him,
Yeah.
and he doesn't need a system to build around him, and he doesn't also need to build into the run. You're gonna get 3 to 5 touches a game, maybe 10 if you're lucky, and you're only gonna get that with a young back that's making no money.
Yeah.
And
True.
the league's built for that.
True.
The league is everyone. I was listening to something the other day where they basically said the first round is now the second round. So running back value starts there's one guy who will go in the first, which this year will be Bijan Robinson, who could step in and be a top 5 running back in the league. We're not going to touch him. I pray we don't touch him.
No.
We don't need that.
No.
Why? You don't like Bijan?
We need defense. Our offense is good. We have a volatile offense. I would love Bijan, but if we had, 2 first rounders, sure, take a flyer on him. But we need defense. Our defense is shit.
Right.
And yeah, no.
Because I guess what you kind of alluded to last week is with the way that this 3-4 runs, right?
Yeah.
We need to have speed in outside linebackers. And with that, when you have a team that's going to blitz a lot, you need a lot of linebacker depth because you're just going to continue to plug and play these guys.
Yeah.
And we're lacking that on a crazy level. There's no way to run that scheme right now.
Do you think you can get that later in the draft?
We can find pursuit linebackers for sure later.
Right.
That'll.
So
I don't
that's
expect
not the
us to.
23.
Yeah, I don't expect
That's
us to
not the
take that at
23.
23.
Okay.
No.
But as we talked about last week, it's a deep cornerback draft, and that's what I'm still praying. I saw a mock draft that said we might get Joey Porter Jr. Again, would love that.
Should
Him
I?
or Deontay Banks would love that. I don't want to move up. I think somebody can fall to us.
If we move up, the Vikings franchise or the Vikings fan base will freak the fuck out. But quick question about 23, and you keep saying if the talent's there at quarterback, let's take it. Do you really think though that we have the front office knowledge to really pick the right quarterback at 23 if talent has fallen? How do we really know that we have support and
We
real
don't.
direction?
We don't.
How can we pick the smart choice
Yeah.
at 23
No, I
over
mean,
every other franchise?
Like I was saying, this is the year that we find out what Kwesi can
Right.
do.
If they
we don't
have
a
their
lot of
guy
picks.
and they're willing to pick it, I love
Yeah.
the first round quarterback pick.
Sure.
Where we're at in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't like the top 5 quarterback pick
No.
because it gets too messy. Your whole career always stands
And every
by it.
week, every time Kirk throws a bad pass or an interception, it's going to be chance of,
Right.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker will be the quarterback. That's the only one you can justify taking at that, unless Will Levis somehow has an epic slide, like a Aaron Rodgers
And-
draft day type thing. Yeah, John?
And don't you guys think that Kwesi's not going to make a move? Now that I'm really thinking about this in detail here. You really think Kwesi's going to hedge his whole future with the Vikings to move up to 2 to take Will Levis?
No.
I think that's such an aggressive move.
Yeah.
I think he's too risk averse to do that.
I agree. I hope
You're
so.
up.
And he's
Parks
too
finally.
new in the position
Oh my God.
to be that ballsy.
All right, seatbelt off. Go ahead.
Well, that's why
Seatbelt off.
that's why I still think we're going to see a draft that feels like a rebuilding year.
Yeah.
Just because when you have a new head coach and a new GM, you have a grace period of 3 to 4 years if you do it right to build on that.
Yeah.
And wait for your talent to fall. Don't jump if you don't have to. I hope that we have the type of GM that's willing to take that breath of fresh air to say, let's give it a few years. Let's actually build with depth. Instead of being the type of franchise that is always fucking reaching, because then Kwesi in 3 years is gone.
Yeah, no, Kwesi could, make his bed in this draft, because if you don't start building more players and letting your coaches coach, like, you've got to trust the guys you have. I know Kwesi is young. It's his first time being, a GM at the draft. I was just watching an interview with him. He was talking about how it was shocking to him last year of how much stuff is going on draft day, which kind of, like, for me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to hear my GM saying that. But year 2, okay, now he's, hopefully he knows what's coming. He's calmed down. You've got to let the guys you hired develop some players. Ed Donatel we hired, obviously, because he's an older guy. He's established. He's been there. He's seen it. You expect him to be able to coach guys. Apparently, he just can't anymore. But Brian Flores is going to command that locker room. He's going to command the attention. Let him coach some of these guys. Let him pick. Don't even, bring him in and be like, who do you want? Who do you see is going to be the, stalwart of our defense?
Yeah.
So I'm praying that that's what we do. That would be like, even if it's not the sexy pick, even if Hooker's there.
I don't want the sexy picks.
No, I don't want
like
it.
hard-nosed Minnesota
This division
football.
is open.
Like,
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I always like, especially in the first 3 rounds, like the meat eaters, the big dudes that they always.
Iowa.
Well, to like the NFL fans, they always feel like no-namers, even though the college guys are like, oh my God, that's a dog.
Yeah.
That dude played at Iowa or Mississippi State, some random
Yep.
hard-nosed teams that kind of feel like they come out of nowhere for the NFL fan,
Mhm.
but for the college person, they're like, this guy was a fucking animal.
Right.
Yep. No, there's
Do
definitely a
we-
lot, but we
with-
don't have a second round pick either, so we got to get the first
that's
one right.
That's what I was going to get to. Do we see Kwesi trade down in the first?
I could
If we
see
don't
it.
get our guy, right? If we think Hendon Hooker's there, right? Teddy B kind of demeanor, right?
Oh, God.
We're in love with Hendon
Teddy
Hooker.
Two Gloves.
We think we can develop him for a couple years. Maybe we trade down, get a second again, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully now with our division again.
Our
And
division's
then
all
go from
rebuilt
there. What do
right
you
now,
What do you
though.
think, Luke? What do you think, LJ? Come on.
As far as the division, or as far as trading back in the
Yeah,
round?
Katu, do you think we trade back into the second or what? What do you think?
No, not at all.
I wouldn't like to see it because I've scouted the shit out of these guys and I know who's going to be available in the second. It's that fucking Cam Smith out of South Carolina. Sorry, Cam
I
Smith,
can't
if
wait
you're watching.
until
I just have
Cam Smith's a
no.
Viking. You're
And
gonna
we have him
see-
on the
I
show
know
in
he's gonna be
6
a
months.
fucking
Yeah,
Viking, and I pray I'm
100%.
wrong. Look, I've been wrong before in epic fashion. Okay, I will admit this on
Who's your
camera.
biggest
Yeah.
wrong ever?
Oh, Adrian Peterson. I didn't want
right,
Adrian
right.
Peterson.
Oh my God.
I didn't want him.
Oh God.
We had
Cancel.
Chester Taylor. We were coming off a 1,000-yard
You
season
were
with Chester
like a
Taylor.
little bit of a new Vikings fan at that point.
I was.
Yeah, Katya,
I
how
was
did we sign him on
years
this
in and off.
long-term Vikings weekly contract?
He was
and
coming
he
off
passed
a-
on 8.
Coming off a broken collarbone. Look, I knew he was great. I was just like, we need other things. Who I wanted is a completely different story.
Who'd you want? Who'd you want?
I wanted Brady Quinn, who was awful and never did shit in the
I kinda
NFL.
like
But I
Brady
watched
Quinn,
him in
man.
college, and I was like, this guy's a fucking dog.
And I like a pretty quarterback.
Yeah. You want a guy,
Yeah.
like
Pretty
a Tom
quarterbacks
Brady
like
in
that.
the
Like a
locker room
sunshine.
that they're like,
Yeah.
this guy, he might not be good, but
But Tom
fuck
Brady
you.
was not pretty.
I'll look at
when he
him.
got drafted.
No, he wasn't pretty
But
when he got drafted.
he's leaving
No.
Earth
Exactly,
as the
so-
most gorgeous man ever.
So
Well, yeah,
Brady
but
Quinn was
plastic
even
surgery's a hell
was
of a
ahead
thing.
of Tom Brady. He was already good looking. No, look, I've been wrong, like I said, but I've also been right. So Cam Smith, if we end up taking you, I'm gonna boo on day of. But fuck, I hope you prove me wrong.
So
So I'd rather take the cornerback or cornerback.
I'm
at
concerned about
23.
cornerback. We drafted 2
We
cornerbacks,
suck
first
at
and
corner-
second round
drafting.
cornerbacks. And
Yeah.
you know,
and we did that with the Zim era too, like multiple years.
Yeah, that was
That
all
was
Zimmer and
awful.
Spielman did. We took the
Yeah.
most cornerbacks in the first 2 rounds of any team in the last 30 years.
is there another thing that you said that this defense needs to center around is like a strong nose tackle.
Yeah,
So
we need a big body.
is
inside.
there that in the first round?
No.
Okay.
The D ends, the edge rushers are there a lot in the first round, but the nose tackle usually isn't a sexy thing. The guy in the middle, So we can find that
We
later.
can do it in third.
Maybe find somebody still in free agency, maybe a trade. Usually those guys are someone you've like done all the homework on, and you're like, this guy fits our system, or it's someone that he's worked with before.
Okay.
Brian Flores.
Now with Zim, he was a cornerback maker.
Yeah.
Right. So we always found ourselves drafting cornerbacks
Nope.
first through 3 rounds guaranteed because he was the cornerback maker.
And never made a cornerback.
Now with like Kevin O'Connell, which I kind of want to brand him as Big Cock, big KOC.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I like it.
Wait, I like that. That's a shirt right there.
Oh, Big Cock. Yeah. And or Flores is Kevin O'Connell supposed to be like a quarterback maker, or is Flores supposed to be like a defensive lineman maker? Do we have any of that in our kind of foundation that we are going to see ourselves leveraging for?
I mean, yeah, Kevin O'Connell's thing now. I mean, he's making his thing, but it's that high flying offense. It's he's definitely a quarterback guy, being a quarterback himself.
But the greatest show on turf type of guy. He needs speed and,
absolutely.
and a big arm.
Yeah. He's looking,
Okay.
Both of them, Kwesi and him, are looking to make waves. They're not coming in, going for
young.
bunts and trying to play small ball. They're going swinging for the fences.
So does Hooker have that arm that you could see Kevin O'Connell saying, that's my guy?
Yes. Yeah. I think he's accurate enough and he could play the system well enough. And he didn't make a lot of mistakes at Tennessee. I've watched his tape, and my personal breakdown, I'm not very impressed with him, but
Adrian Peterson.
they see no, look, for the record, I was very impressed with Adrian Peterson. I just didn't think he was a need at the time. I didn't know he'd be arguably the best, top 3 running back of all time. I'm in love with him, but yeah, no. So fit wise, I think we could see Hooker, because they want to do the splashy pick and all that. And I do think he could be good. And he doesn't need to start right now. Well, he can't start because he's going to be hurt for the majority of this season. So if Kirk throws 3 interceptions on Monday Night Football, you can't start cheering for fucking Hendon Hooker because he can't come in the game. So that's kind of nice.
And my
but
fear,
we don't have a second. So we're just going to have no
I
fucking
think
cornerbacks.
I want us to trade. Here's my fantasy, okay? I want us to trade down, maybe even out of the first, maybe get an early second, grab your corner if he falls, and then get Hendon Hooker in the second or third, right? What do you guys think of that?
I don't think a Hooker falls,
Is
though.
that crazy? If we can get the second round pick back, or I don't know.
I think
they desperately want a second, though. I'm getting that vibe.
But in a Jalen Hurst kind of era of football now, I think a Hooker goes higher.
Well,
right? Because there's some mobility. He has enough of an arm that's exciting.
Yeah.
And
Good point.
So he's in a perfect spot. If I'm him and I'm his agent, we're branding you as like, yo, your brand name, your franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these mobile quarterbacks with good enough arms that are getting far. At least that's from what I saw with his tape. That's what it looked like to me.
So
is he an RPO guy?
No. He's mostly pocket. He can get out, but he gets out to throw.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I don't want him to get hurt. I personally like my Lamar fear. Like, I don't want my quarterback running all over.
Do you guys want us to run RPO or no?
I think anything that confuses the defense or buys Justin Jefferson a quarter of a second to break free, I'll take. So I love RPO. I think Kirk ran the shit out of it for so many years, getting outside on play action. I like that.
Right.
But I don't know if we have the running backs that'll.
I don't know why we went away from that.
Fearful.
I felt like Kirk 2 years ago,
so
initial
good.
year with Zimmer was killing it with play action. So like my tangent here is like, if we do bring in Hooker, do we see more RPO then? Do we have to change our offense a little bit? Or do you really think that he fits kind of the mantra that we're trying to preach here?
I think if they're going to take a quarterback, they're going to take one that fits the system. Yeah. I don't think they're going to build systems around players. I think it's, finding guys that fit what we're trying to do.
So is Hendon that guy for sure? What are like, and then with that being said, what are some other quarterbacks, if not Hooker, if not Levis, what are some other deep sleepers here?
So if we do end up trading back, which I could absolutely see, and also I could see Hendon Hooker slipping, the draft and all the people hyping the draft to the second round. Because I think a lot of these guys, like a month ago, if you looked at the mock drafts and you listened to the experts and the analysts, they were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be quarterbacks. Sure. Like this is going to be quarterback heavy draft. You're going to see now all of a sudden it's looking like the Texans won't take a quarterback at 2, which is unbelievable. So that means one will slide or somebody will trade up to get it. Anthony Richardson, people are finally taking their foot off the gas and they're like, okay, you know what? We got a little trigger happy. This guy needs at least a year, probably 2 years. He's extremely inaccurate.
But is that why that's why the Minneapolis media is talking about the Vikings moving up and
yes,
taking
because
him?
it's exciting. That sells, that's clickbait,
and then you've
you
got
know?
the 2-3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
With Kirk.
Yes.
That's the
I love
concept
him more
behind
than
it.
any quarterback in the draft. Period.
Anthony Richardson?
That's your guy?
Oh, sorry, he doesn't go by that name. Anthony Richardson, into it.
That's
Big
your
time.
guy.
Look,
I'll
that's
literally freak out if we draft him. Everyone else, I can't get excited about. I don't really like. In years past, I even got excited about Garrett Bradbury because I'm like, we finally got our center,
Yeah.
right?
Wait,
This
why are
year,
you on both knees
the
over this
only-
guy?
The only guy that I'm excited I'm going to get excited about is Anthony Richardson.
he
Period.
has the
I think he has
highest
the best
ceiling.
upside. He's
Yes.
the most. I think in my mind, he's the closest to Patrick Mahomes type talent that there is.
Yeah,
I
look,
don't know.
that-
Like, am I wrong here?
no,
With thinking that this guy has an astronomical ceiling, and I think I don't know. You know what I
hate
mean?
it.
he has the
Versus
highest
this Hendon
ceiling.
Hooker guy is 26. Kind of turns me off. Will Levis at Kentucky. One of the last quarterback that came out of Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. These are kind of things that I just like. The corner, you know, like to me is kind of an unsexy pick. It's like they're not going to be good for a couple years, right? You know what I
That's
mean?
not
Like
true.
Xavier Rhodes
If you
took
get a
while to
Sauce
get
Gardner,
good.
Yeah.
if you
So
get a
it's just
Tariq
like, I don't know.
Woolen,
Like to me, of the frustrations is like I just like don't really see any rookies starting right away or making a big difference. To be quite frank, other than I don't know, like Anthony Richardson in a few years, but I don't. Other than that, like no one really excites me. I don't know
I
if you guys
totally
feel that way.
disagree. I think
I
that
know
like the
you're
college
high
players are
on
built.
your corner over there, Luke, but
I think the college players are built these days to come into the NFL
Yeah.
system and play and execute. We've seen it year and year again. Of course, there's some development time with like quarterbacks in certain situations, but this is not old school NFL. Like these guys are trained and like perform and train like NFL athletes. They're ready to come into the game and like make an impact.
look, what we've seen just from last year with Tariq Woolen and Sauce Gardner, they came in, stepped in right away, and became two of the best corners in the NFL,
right.
if not the two best
Fair
corners.
point.
Right.
Like
fair
they're
point.
and you need so many of these guys now because the speed kind of it tapers off as you go
Exactly.
in.
You get
end
one
up with a Patrick
injury.
Peterson, who just can't keep up with guys anymore.
Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, like these guys slow down. So you
Yeah.
almost want, it sucks because we've missed so many times, but I think that's still like you've got to hit on those corners. And I mean, you just watch like the Lions and Bears, I think are going to steal some corners. And that's what I'm scared of is those top guys that I'm in love with that I've, done all my research on. I'm going to have to fucking watch them face us. And they're going to be the guys covering Justin Jefferson.
Mhm,
I'm going to freak out.
mhm.
That's what I'm most fearful of.
Who are you most afraid of?
Christian Gonzalez is going to be, I think it's either him or Devin Witherspoon are going to be the Lions pick at 6. And of course the Lions got that pick not on their own. That's the pick they got for trading Matthew Stafford, which now looks fucking brilliant. So they get the 6th pick and then they also get the 18th pick. So they can play. They
Who
can
would
do
they
whatever
take
they
at
want.
18?
They could take fucking Hendon Hooker at 18 and fuck us twice. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Do you feel good about this guy, Gonzalez? Really?
I'm
not
obsessed.
totally sold on him.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Christian Gonzalez. I love him.
Really?
He was a
Really?
transfer out of
I've been reading
Colorado.
a lot about him potentially being a bust.
I mean,
Tell me about that.
we're not going to get him, so I hope he's a
Why
bust.
would people say that?
I don't know why people would say that. Probably because every cornerback is kind of a toss-up. Once you actually get on the field, you got to see if they can keep up. Devin Witherspoon, I think,
Sure.
has less. I don't know. It's tough because you want that cocky factor to your cornerback. Like
Sure.
they're going head-to-head. They're basically the wide receiver on the defense. We all know wide receivers are the cockiest motherfuckers in the world. Cornerback needs to match that cockiness and be confident that they can take on your best, cockiest guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Devin
Mhm.
Witherspoon is cocky as hell. He's going to be in their face. He might get some taunting penalties, standing over guys, flexing.
You need that swag.
He likes to
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
He's coming after you. So I think that's why he's the number one cornerback ranked right now. But I think him and Christian Gonzalez, one of them is going to go to the damn Lions, and I'm going to be pissed.
So they just line up on the opposite of Scene. Because Scene is supposed to be a headhunter too, right?
Oh, Louis Cine?
Yeah.
Louis Cine? Yeah. No,
Okay.
he's supposed to lay people out. As long as he doesn't hurt himself again, he's going to lay people out.
Right.
But Yeah, I mean, we won't.
I'm still
we won't be
I'm
think
still a
to get them.
Scene fan, guys. I don't think
I'm excited.
that
We
he's
get 2
done.
first
I think his
rounders this
recovery
year.
has been very good. I guess Harrison Smith complimented him recently. Do you guys see this?
I mean, I would
No.
hope
Harrison
so.
Smith?
Yeah.
It's fucking captain.
Harrison Smith felt like he doesn't even look like he was injured. That's what he said. He said,
Good.
Scene
I like
is an
it.
animal. His workouts are impressive. Doesn't even look like he's been
Impressive.
injured.
What a
So
word.
Impressive.
Oh,
that's a real positive for us. But again, I think we need to go like you mentioned the Witherspoon guy. Like Gonzalez, I'm not too high on.
I hope you're right.
So
You like Porter? You like Porter though, huh?
Obsessed with Porter, 6'2". Like we said last week, he's
Yeah.
got the pedigree with the family. He could step in. And Penn State guys, they're dogs.
pedigree never loses. When you grow up in
Yeah.
it, when you've seen it, you know what it takes.
The recency
Unless you're a
bias.
total jackass.
Yeah.
But usually it works.
Yeah, no, the recency bias of the Bosas and the Watts, like these guys all just pan out.
Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
Trevon
go.
Diggs.
Claymaker, Clay Matthews. Yep.
Yeah, no, they're good, but yeah. So I mean, we could go over.
So I have a guy for us.
Let's go.
Holton Ahlers. I kind of brought him up last week.
Yep.
Give us the rundown. Give us the.
So this is why I was like searching through my phone because somebody sent me a text late night saying, "Yo, I got the biggest deep draft pick for quarterback."
for quarterback.
For quarterback. Holton Ahlers, his quarterback coach, this guy's 6'4", 230.
I'm in.
His quarterback coach is like, dude, you must be a Viking.
Why?
He laughed. He's like, luckily, my brother just took an ancestry test.
Oh, this guy.
And I actually, my great was a Viking. Not only was he a Viking, he was Viking royalty. Ragnar Lothbrok
Oh, right.
nearly took out the whole Roman Empire with just a pair of ships. And this is this guy's fucking great grandpa.
See, I actually know everything about Ragnar Lothbrok, but it's
Why?
because of the show Vikings on
Yeah.
History Channel. It's
Yeah.
completely about Ragnar and
Descendant.
his family. Yeah.
So the fact
I'm
that
in.
we're not going to pick up like a guy who's literally a descendant of Viking royalty.
Yeah.
And
Of
So-
6'4".
our mascot.
yeah, so Holton Ahlers, and our mascot sucks right now.
He's
You know, I mean, we had Pudgy Ragnar for so long.
That's
and
Ragnar Lothbrok.
I know, but our
Yeah.
Ragnar wasn't quite Ragnar. It was this pudgy guy from Wisconsin that would drive in and get all pissed off because we didn't pay him enough.
Scold.
Yeah, I thought we
Oh,
actually did him
That's
bad.
good. Scold.
No, his name is Skolt. Skolt.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
That
saying
was-
like he's scold.
Oh,
Like
no.
he's like
Yeah.
feels
Did he have
scolded.
that Vikings tat on his bicep? That
Yeah,
kind of guy.
he's like here's the thing. He's a little creepy, like his whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, as a
well, yeah, 'cause
Adult mascot with no helmet.
he was not an official mascot either. And I've done like some events with him in Minneapolis, and he always like his thing, and he thought it was kitschy, but I think it's creepy. It was like picking up girls.
Oh, that's lovely.
He'd be like, "You want to pick you
Yeah.
up?" I'm like, "I'm good. Please put me down."
No.
Like, no, yeah. So
I think that's John's thing too.
Yeah, John's thing with his
But
beard.
as like an Uber driver.
Different
Like,
kind
get
of picking up here, Luke. You know.
in.
Why are you always in your car?
Okay, I'd like to go
I just
down.
happened to be. I don't know. I had to go down to Aurora and do something, and I just happened to be in my car. I don't know. It's stupid.
John,
Anyways,
John, how do you
here we-
see the
still
division
recording.
shaping up?
Give me some other picks here, Luke.
No,
John,
Some
how do
ones
you
that
see the
wouldn't think
division
of
shaping up?
besides
Hear a word.
Witherspoon. Come on.
John, how do you see the division
So
shaping up?
just to preface, I am a very superstitious fan. My friends and I call it the Chesh. Chesh in Arabic means eye, so it's the evil eye. So I
Oh,
can't be
we call it
honest.
Mati.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, we have the Greek version of
Yeah.
superstition. We've all got it.
We
Okay,
all got it.
Every fucking nation has their own
Mhm.
superstition. I'm horribly pessimistic when it comes to my team. I do pick'ems every week. I don't think I've picked the Vikings to win a game in like 10 years because every time I pick them, no matter, we could be playing a squad of dead kids.
Yeah.
And somehow we would find a way to lose
So
when
you
I pick them.
only
I
play
pick against
pick-ems
every
to pick
single
against
time.
The Vikings,
I don't
so we
pick
win.
against.
I don't do it
Yeah.
too, but
To help them.
honestly, yes, I'm
Yeah.
doing my part.
You
to
care
help
so
them.
much.
I also don't buy any jerseys of active players. We can get
Sure.
into that.
Yep.
We need an
I get
entire
that.
hour to cover that.
I get
But
that.
as far as us and our division goes, I'm skeptical, to put it lightly. But John, where do you think we finish in this division, or how do you see the division playing out?
Everyone's really high on the Lions. I just don't buy it because they're the Lions. They've had some things happen with the sports betting and stuff like that. I think the Vikings have a real legitimate shot. The Bears the Bears scared me a little bit, but I just, you know what? Save this clip. Justin Fields is not it. Justin Fields is not it. Okay? And so that's kind of where I like kind of hold my breath on the Bears. The Packers, I think, finished last. I'm not a Jordan Love guy. I think it'll be Vikes or Lions first or second, and I think Bears finish third and Packers are fourth. I'd like to think the Vikings get in on wild card, but again,
who gets cut first?
Too many questions on my defense right now.
Justin Fields or Jordan Love, who gets cut first?
Who are you asking, Jordan Love or who?
Justin Fields. Who gets cut first?
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, right? I mean,
absolutely.
They'll stick with Fields as long as they have to. They're I don't know what the deal is with that guy, but why? It's confusing to me how everyone thought he had a great year, and I thought he was god awful the whole year. I thought he processed things extremely poorly. People kind of gave him. They said, "Oh, his O-line was the problem." Their O-line was fine. Fields sucks. Period. I'll continue to pile on. What do you think, Luke? Help me out here. Back me up. Get in my corner here on this.
You and I are just gonna go opposite on everything for the show. That's what this show is gonna be. Is you and I disagreeing? I want to be wrong.
I'm getting mad here now. Fields is like a great rushing quarterback. Make him a tight end or something, right? But he's just
tight end.
Look,
when it comes to throwing the football and reading defenses and processing complex type things, great. You know, he's real Zen-like, right? He meditates a lot. He's fast. He's cool. He's cool. He's just a cool guy, right?
So that's like Russell Wilson vibes. It gets weird.
Russell Wilson is not cool.
He thinks he's cool.
You know,
he thinks he's cool.
Whatever, you know, but it's like
if you're married to Sierra, you're kind of cool.
Because of her.
They thought they could get Claypool. They thought they could get whatever, DJ Moore. It's like, guys, it's like the corners, the wide receivers are not the problem. It's the guy under center. And he's I'm sorry, I can just keep going with this guy, but number one quarterback, he's not it. Not it. The Bears are going to continue to fall on their face with him leading the charge.
So we have the best quarterback in our division then, you're saying?
Save this clip, break it down, and just cut it up to where it makes me look even stupider the more I double and triple down on this guy. But I'm sorry, I just don't. I really am not a Fields guy. I don't know.
We don't, because one of you guys is a big Goff guy, right?
I don't want to say.
No,
Go ahead.
No. Who's the Goff guy?
Got to be LJ.
Goff guy. No.
I was talking to someone who was like, I'm a big Goff guy.
No, Goffle?
Goff to me is better than Fields.
There you go. You found him.
And that's not controversial. That's not controversial.
It's a little controversial.
Was it Chad? I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, it might have been Chad.
Yeah.
You can throw that take right in the trash.
Yeah.
No, look, I loved Justin Fields
go ahead.
coming out of college. I was obsessed with him. I think the Bears, we laugh at the Lions. The Bears don't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. Their offensive system usually sucks. They want to run this old school ground and pound run game, but they don't have any offensive line, and then they don't have any weapons. I have no idea what the fuck the Bears have been doing for the last 7 years. Ryan Poles was awful, but now I think they had one of the best off seasons of any team, and they're starting to scare me a little. It completely rides on Justin Fields. This is going to be the year that it's are you legit? Right. Because now you've actually got help, right? So they had the one pick, right? Because Texans are inept and allowed them and won a game late and gave them the fucking one pick.
That was lovely.
Yeah, so annoying. So the Bears traded back from 1 to 9 with the Panthers. They got DJ Moore in that, and they got next year's first, which will be a good pick because the Panthers suck. Regardless of having a rookie quarterback
next year, if Fields.
What do you mean? Add to the Thielen, dog.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got Thielen now. They have no wide receivers, but they have Thielen. Look, they're gonna suck. Okay, I don't care about the Panthers. The point is, so they traded back. They got DJ Moore. Then they signed TJ Edwards, the linebacker from the Eagles, after they just had that great defense last year. They got Tremaine Edmonds, the other linebacker from the Bills. So these are just two veteran good linebackers. Now you have adults in the room who are going to tell these younger guys how to play. They got an offensive guard, Nate Davis from the Titans. These are just under the radar moves that aren't sexy and don't get all the headlines, but they're good players.
That's where it's I was going to just say how when does a good offseason actually correlate to a good season?
Yeah.
But if it's an offseason like that, it is.
And they
if
still
you picked
have
up
money.
like Odell, that's not a
No,
good
no,
offseason.
no. I think, exactly. Couldn't agree more. They got Robert Tonyan, the tight end from the Packers, who's a good, not, again, not an amazing player.
But for their
but he's
scheme, you're
solid.
saying this is like
he's a tight
they're
end.
getting their guys.
He's going to go opposite Kmet, block, catch some passes. But again, he knows like the winning culture he brings in. And then they got Dante Foreman, who I always thought was like a mini Derrick Henry from the Panthers because David Montgomery left. So they just like, these are all big pieces. And then they got the 9 pick, and they can get Jalen Carter, who could have gone 1. They could get Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle from Tennessee, who's a beast. Like, they're gonna fill that team, and it's basically gonna come down to Justin Fields. If they win 8 games, I wouldn't be shocked, which is just gonna make our life harder.
Right.
But I don't think they're gonna win the division or make the playoffs yet. But I think
I'm basing this solely on the fact that I think Justin Fields shits the bed. I have nothing but good things to say about Ryan Poles. I actually think that the Vikings wanted to get him over Kwesi, right? I mean, he was their number 1 target. They wanted Ryan Poles, and he kind of jilted us to go to the Bears, which
he's a better fit over there. That makes sense.
But I know, but it's like Kwesi was our 2nd or 3rd choice, is what I'm trying to get at here.
He's Moneyball, dude.
I just, that's one thing. I'm hanging my hat on the fact that I just don't think Fields is it, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, if he gets hurt, who do they have behind him, right? It gets a little sketchy. So you're kind of putting a lot on JF. But
name a good
we'll see.
quarterback.
I think they're 3rd again. They're on the outside looking in. Yeah, they did have a good offseason. I will give you that, but I just can't get over my Justin Fields hate right now.
Yeah.
And maybe part of me wanted him a little bit when we drafted him because I know that.
Oh, so you're got it. You're hurt.
We were going to take
But
him.
at the same,
Zimmer was
but
taking
at the same
him.
time, it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel it was like the Johnny Manziel thing, right? Where it's like he would work for the Vikings, but not for any other team, right? It's like,
But I get it. Now I understand your energy. You're mad that the hot girl didn't dance with you at prom, and now you think she's the worst.
And now I'm poking holes in the hot girl. I'm like, she's not that. She's got the fupa going on, right? Her hair is off, receding hairline, right? It's like we're starting to see these things.
She's getting older,
right?
yeah.
Red flags, right? Just certain things where it's like, I don't know. Didn't we have that opportunity to draft Fields?
We were going to take Fields 15. Zimmer confirmed it after the draft, and he went. And the Bears traded up and got him at 14, I believe.
And then we got who? Justin Jefferson?
No, we waited and we took. That was the Kellen Mond draft.
Oh, Kellen Mond.
Yeah, we were going to get Fields as the successor. No, you're right. Ryan Poles, I actually do like. It was Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace was the one. This stupid Ryan P thing. You're going to hire 2 GMs back to back. Ryan P. Pace was awful.
Poles?
Yeah,
who they have now?
Yeah. Ryan Poles is good. It was Ryan Pace that I didn't like. I like what Ryan Poles is doing. And then as far as the Lions go, so again, I don't think Jared Goff is any good, but he's not dog shit. Like he can make this offense good. I'm happy they got that fucking gambling shit going on in the locker room because we don't have to deal with Jameson Williams for 6 weeks. Hopefully we play them twice in the first 6 weeks and we can get that over with.
That'd be great scheduling come out right now.
I mean, but look, Amon-Ra St. Brown is legit. That team is getting better. They re-signed Marvin Jones, who was there for years, who
he killed
isn't
us, by
sexy,
the way. Remember that
but he
overtime
killed
game?
us.
Yeah.
And he's a veteran receiver. He knows that locker room. He knows that city. He's going to be very comfortable going back there. They lost Jamal Williams, who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns last year.
That was a bad loss for them.
But then they picked up David Montgomery, who's always hurt, but we still have to deal with him now. You know, he's always run hard against us.
Yeah, but isn't he's going to be a little bit
overpaid?
Well, he's the 2. They still have DeAndre Swift.
Overpaid with that move.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift is still the lead back in that. They got very lucky that Jamal Williams was just unstoppable last year. He's
but
gone.
Lions last year again was that same like under the radar
the last 10
team.
weeks.
Right.
When they finished 8-2,
exactly.
They were on a storm, and they stopped the Packers from going to playoffs. I should send them flowers. I was so happy with what they did last year.
It's just one of those things. There's been so many years that I feel like the Lions have so much.
Yeah.
They always have had like really cool wide receivers, a good enough quarterback that it should be great, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it's something about like just living in Detroit and your wife hating that you live there, and your kids like
Bitching at
being
you
like,
every
why
day.
the fuck do we live here? Like, we go see your friends on the beach in like LA, and they have the big dope houses, and we have like, it's nothing. And so I do think like it's cool, they have great players, but the city itself like slowly gets at you.
It kills you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so again, just to round out what they've done, so they also picked up the safety from the Eagles, who's actually a sexy pickup, is CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Okay.
I think, led the league in interceptions last year. Like, he's still good in his prime. So that's a pain in the ass at the back end of that defense. And they also got Cam Sutton, the cornerback from the Steelers. I love all Steelers players. You show me that black and yellow jersey, I'm like, this guy's gonna fucking kill me. So
You like Tomlin.
love
Good-
Tomlin.
yeah.
What a
Defensive
horrible
Steelers teams.
thing.
I mean, they're just they do.
You give me a
build
corner
you
from
right.
the Steeler that was learning under Mike Tomlin for the last few years.
Yeah,
I think he's going to
for
be
sure.
good. So these are
Makes
just
sense.
good players to replace Jeff Okudah, who just left. But again, they've got the 6 and the 18. They've got to get a tight end. They got to replace Hawkinson. They have our 2nd round pick. Like, if they pull off a few good picks, they're going to be fucking good again. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a harder division than, like, just on paper looking at like, oh, it's the Lions and the Bears. Ha ha ha. They're gonna make it more difficult. But the beautiful thing that we can all celebrate here on Vikings Weekly, the greatest day of possibly my entire life, has nothing to do with the Vikings. Packer fans, I don't give a shit who you take in the draft. I don't care if you fucking find Tom Brady in the draft. You guys are going to suck this year.
Yeah.
Welcome to what the rest of the fucking league has had to deal with
The
since
Wicked Witch is dead.
1992.
Thank God.
Since 92, they've had a Hall of Fame quarterback at the helm. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, we've had to deal with our entire lives. Now you get Jordan Love. Go fuck yourselves. Welcome to Christian Bonder. You guys are going to... I don't give a shit what you do.
And it sucks because like the Green Bay's always kind of had quarterbacks that like if they're on your team, you like
Oh my
them.
God, I would
So they're
kill for Aaron
kinda-
Rodgers.
They're assholes.
Yeah.
They know they're good. They play good. They're easy to hate, but they're way easier to love.
Yeah.
And
But we can't love them. We're the only
we
fucking
have
people.
to hate
Yeah.
them.
No, I hate
And
hate.
so there's so much about Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, dude, he's like the dude.
I can't wait to root. Like, I'm gonna root for him this year, just to piss off Packers fans more, and also because if he plays 65% of
Right.
his of the snaps this season, which he should, unless he gets hurt.
Unless Green Bay knows something that the Jets
Yeah,
do
I mean,
not.
look, if he gets hurt,
Yeah.
then Green Bay gets the second round
round.
pick instead of the first round pick. But if he ends up playing 65+% of the snaps, most likely the Jets are going to be a playoff team. So
Just-
their pick is going to suck in the first round anyway.
I love it. Like Jets are gonna run it back. He's gonna be on ayahuasca trip. He's gonna fucking send his dick to some chick, and we'll probably have Aaron Rodgers like right after Kirk. It'd be sick. Just for 2
I
years.
would love a Brett
Just
Favre
2
thing.
years.
Give me another Brett
Run
Favre
it back.
situation. Go to the Jets. Come on
Come
over to
to
the
the
Vikings.
Vikings.
I'm fine with it. But I think you piss off an all-time great talent and they come for you.
Sure.
He's not going to take this year lightly. He's not just riding off in the sunset. This guy's very cognizant of his legacy and his reputation. He knows if you win in New York, that's a completely different world. Jets haven't won since Namath.
Yeah.
And he wore 12. Namath gave him the okay to wear his number. He said, no, I'm wearing 8. He went back to his college number. Like, he's already
honoring
But
Kirk Cousins, by the
entrenching.
way.
No, but see,
Huh?
that's the thing. Rodgers is going to
Honoring Kirk
suck.
with that number 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Cousins are Rodgers is gonna suck because he kind of
You
has.
think he's gonna suck?
I
this
think
year?
he's gonna suck because I think
he's
he's.
gonna kill them.
I don't think he cares about football anymore.
No, man.
He doesn't care about
No,
football
he's
anymore.
too competitive.
He would have
He's
rode off into the
way-
sunset.
yes.
He
He would
knows
have done
what
his darkness retreat and just see you later.
the GM pissed him off. They're
Yeah.
like, we're done with you. Oh, you're done with me? He's going to come out
Yeah.
with his wide receiver. Garrett Wilson is going to be a fucking savage.
100%.
This team.
Bro, have you seen him with Mallory Edens? He's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is rejuvenated.
He's got a new girl?
He's hanging. Dude, that was honestly that was like my day one crush.
Who
When
is
they
it?
were
Who
doing,
is
like,
this?
the Mallory Edens,
I don't know
dude.
who
Like
that
when they were
is.
you guys know who this is? So
No.
when they were doing the
name's
Bucks draft lottery, this was my senior year of college. She was the one that was like with the envelope. She must have been like 18. She was like our age. I remember that. And it was like Rodgers is like dating her now. I was like, whoa. Like that was
Who
crazy.
is she?
to
Why
me.
was she picking the?
So she's the owner of the Bucks. Is her father.
Oh, okay.
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 Oh yeah.
Mallory
She's dating
Edens.
the daughter. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
And so
unfair.
now
okay.
Aaron Rodgers is dating her, and he looks rejuvenated. They're doing a bunch of PDA, like a ton of PDA. It's a little excessive. It's crazy.
Where?
We
Actually.
reached our
It's like,
TMZ.
whoa.
of the
Yeah, like,
portion.
are you a paparazzi? Is that why you're in
TMZ
your car?
portion.
No, but
He's
I
our
just
friend.
the only
He's like,
reason
"Hold on,
I
guys,"
saw
jumps
it
out of the
was 'cause
camera.
They were courtside. They were courtside at one of the, I
Bucks
believe it was
game.
a
At the Bucks
Bucks
game.
game,
Yep.
and it was like Rodgers just looked different.
But
He
dude,
didn't have that long hair, kind of duffed out look. He looked focused. He's like with Mallory Edens. He's like, dude, I'm in New York now. I'm in the Big Apple.
Yeah.
I have a hard time imagining that he's going to have a poor year. He's going to take all his animus and angst for the Packers, and
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
I don't
I
know.
agree.
The
Mal-
Jets are gonna jet.
I've
too.
never seen this girl before, never heard of her in my life. This is the kind of girl, if she was in any sorority in America, you go to the party, you'd never remember her.
Yeah, but if you add $2 billion to
Yeah.
her name, you fucking notice that girl.
You'd maybe remember a
No,
little.
Yeah.
You notice her a little bit more, LJ, when you add a couple zeros.
Okay.
Also, John's been talking about her since we were 18. So
Day one,
apparently,
dude,
I think she is 18.
I'm telling you, I was at Gustavus Adolphus.
She better be
College,
18,
and
John.
I
She
remember
better be
being like-
18.
No. She was definitely of
she
age.
does look like
stop
any
with
other St.
that.
Thomas girl.
Stop with that.
Like,
She looks like
Gyllenhaal.
every St. Thomas
Every
girl.
St. Thomas girl. As a St. Thomas girl, I look like none of the St. Thomas girls.
She looks like
You're
every St.
green.
Thomas girl.
You're
Yeah.
different. But to be fair to the Packers,
She looks like every St. Thomas girl. Is what
Yeah.
She
That's
does.
true.
As two St. Thomas graduates.
Go to
Just
Plums
like,
or Tiffs, and you're
uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that
Were
girl.
you in the
Yeah,
You're
that
at the
one.
business school, right? Yeah. All right, got you.
Mm-hmm.
I
She's a
Carolyn Deaton. She looks just like Carolyn Deaton. Remember her?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like her.
But see those,
Carolyn.
yeah. But the
What's up, Carolyn?
the Gustavus guys just like gawk at those girls.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the
Because you don't
hottest
have the
girl.
St. Thomas girls.
Like I got 10 in
We were
my
like the
math.
we don't
class.
have them at GAC like you guys do
yeah,
at
well,
Thomas. Huh?
that's what you find at the
Yeah.
lower schools.
Yeah.
Just like shitting on the MIAC right now.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. That's why Thomas had to leave the MIAC, right?
Yep, that's
yeah,
right. Best team in the country.
we
Like
got kicked out.
Yeah.
The girls just couldn't compete with the rest of the MIAC.
so now.
So then, just to finish off, they have the 13th pick.
What's going on here?
I don't give a fuck who they take. They'll probably take a top tight end to replace Tanyan. It would be hilarious if they took a wide receiver after not giving Rodgers a receiver in the first round for years, and then this time they're like, you know what, we're gonna give Jackson Smith Njigba to Jordan Love. Doesn't matter. I don't care if he's throwing to fucking God. He's gonna suck. The team's gonna suck. We just have to make sure they win 5 or 6 games, because if they get the number 1 pick next year, I'm out. I'm quitting Caleb Williams in a Packers jersey. I'm going home.
Oh, right, because you're a USC fan.
I'm a
too.
USC fan, and that kid is a stud. And if I have to fucking watch another
Yeah.
goddamn Hall of Famer on the Packers, I'm just out.
No, don't do this. No,
Fight on, baby.
no, none of that. None of that. Okay, so I want to bring it back a little bit to some Vikings history,
Oh.
and also welcome to the clickbait time of the Vikings Weekly Show. 25 years ago, Randy Moss was selected number 21 by the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think we have the ability to discover talent at 23, Hall of Fame talent at 23. We might be wrong.
We got
Right
JJ
on.
at 22.
All right. So, speaking of JJ, comparison between Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson. I will let both of you just go and have fun with this question.
It's beautiful that they're just so different. Like they make their comparison, the things that they have is similar. They make difficult or impossible look easy. It's
Yes.
pedestrian. That catch Justin Jefferson made last
my
year
God.
in Buffalo was, I still, if you show me that 100 times, I'm like, there's zero chance anyone makes that.
Yeah.
But
Well, he made OBJ's catch irrelevant forever.
I mean, well, I don't know.
It should have been. It actually was meaningful. It was way better. It
It's
was
more
in
meaningful,
traffic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like it's the
The
grab,
downfield,
yeah.
like you're against Dallas. Like it was just, there was so much to that. But look, Justin Jefferson can do everything. The like what makes him so special to me is he's naturally a slot receiver. He's barely 6 foot tall. Like he's not. Randy was, I mean, his nickname's the Freak. He was 6'4", fastest guy on the field, somehow so skinny but physical as shit. They've literally named catching over people's head, mossing people.
Right.
Like Randy changed that position where you're not like a possession guy going over the middle. It's like he's just going deep and one-handing things and making people look stupid.
Yeah.
So the beauty is that they're so different, but both just get it done.
Well, they have that psychopath dog in them that goes, when it's in the air, it's mine and nobody else's. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to rub it in your face and I'm going to take your girl.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
Yeah.
Like, and they wear it with them on the field and off the field. And there's something about that you can't teach. Like only God can humble you from that type of ego.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you need like in a good wide receiver.
Yes.
And only like your upbringing can do that. Like somebody has to tell you you're that great, or you have to overcome something so difficult that you're just like, I'm literally the greatest human on the planet.
Yeah. And you also have to fall in the draft to somehow end up in the 20s that the Vikings are like, really? You're going to let us do this again? I mean, we posted on Vikings Weekly the other day when they choke. It's sad because Jalen Reagor is on the team, but we took
That's so
good.
The Eagles took Jalen Reagor, and Rick Spielman starts laughing, and he's like, send in the pick. Like they knew what they were getting
Mike
and
was
what they
excited.
avoided.
Even Zim was excited.
Yeah, Zim never cracks a fucking smile, and he's just
Yeah.
like
He was
ear
like-
to ear. Like an idiot.
Well, they're just like, holy shit, these guys are losers.
I wonder what we would have done if they took JJ.
JJ.
We wouldn't have taken
no,
Rager.
no.
Whatever.
No,
so, yeah, that
no.
was
We would have
beautiful.
taken like a corner. I can't
Or
remember who
T.
the guy was.
I would have
but we
taken
would've
T.
taken
Higgins.
someone stupid.
Oof.
But yeah, going back to your comment here, I will say this, and people forget about this. Randy Moss took a lot of plays off. A lot of plays off.
He would
And that
never
was
block and
frustrating
stuff.
to
That was
me.
hilarious.
That was he would never block. The last year that we had him in Minnesota was really
was the
upsetting. You remember
worst.
when he had that hamstring injury? He was hurt all the time at the end, the tail
Well,
end of
and
his
him
time in
coming-
Minnesota.
The
Are you
first
talking
time?
about the first time or the second time?
The first time when we left him, we traded him for Napoleon Harris
The Afro
Remember
years,
that?
dude. I love those
and
years.
Troy Williamson.
Oh, God. That was the worst.
But that's the first time people legitimately thought that guy was done. He went to the Raiders.
Oh, my
and
God. Yeah. His first year
he had
sucked.
he had like a decent, maybe one decent year there, but it was like no one really thought he had that juice. And then he went to the Patriots, and something happened. I don't know, but like
I know what happened. Tom
Tom
Brady
Brady.
happened.
He was like, oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I can
but
compete?
he changed his attitude. His
Yep.
demeanor was different. I felt like,
But not
if
when he
we
came back
had
to the
that
Vikings.
same Randy Moss that we had
No.
that was on the Patriots. His best season was on the Patriots. That's what's frustrating to me about
22
Yeah,
saying
it's
touchdowns.
very
who's better,
Minnesota.
Moss or JJ. It's like, I think when it's all said and done, it'll be JJ. Sadly, because
you?
of Moss's work ethic, and that's where I'm talking about. Is like if JJ continues to have productive career, like season after season after season, he will no doubt be better than Randy Moss.
no, but the reason Randy Moss will always be number one is like why Luke is a Vikings fan.
Yep.
Like Randy Moss transcended the game. His best year was
100%.
his
and I'm
first
not taking
year.
that away from him. I'm a Randy Moe guy too. I'm a Chris Carter guy too. Like
You're not
all
going to
those dudes
find
were
people
killing
in
it.
15 years being like, I'm a Vikings fan because of Justin Jefferson.
I don't know.
You think so?
With a
Because the
couple
gritty?
years like this.
You're just saying that
he's-
because we're old.
Do you know how many kids? I saw.
He's got
I
the
saw a
gritty.
kid walking
They're
in
doing
Denver
gritty on
with
in
the- with the
Fortnite.
Justin Jefferson
I
jersey.
get that,
And-
but there's so many good, flashy wideouts right now that it's hard to.
He's
it's,
at the top.
Like who, though?
no. He
Yeah.
is number one wideout.
Yeah.
But there's so many other guys that I think took their game from Randy that now like look, feel, walk, talk, and dance like him that it's hard to break through the pack.
Yeah.
And so like Randy Moss to me is kind of like the Michael Jordan where it's like,
He
yeah,
is
you
because no one else
you
is
can
doing it.
everyone has to kind of fall in line. It's not that I think Justin Jefferson as the NFL career could have a better NFL career, but like the
Yeah,
way that Randy changed the game forever, you're not going to touch it.
If Justin Jefferson
Right, he has
gets
a
us
little bit of an
Super Bowl-
intangible that it's
That's
tough
it.
to really like write down. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just the way he would wear his gloves on his gloves on his face
love
mask,
that.
his
yeah.
demeanor,
Dude.
his swag. Like Randy Moss, don't write checks.
I mean, when
Straight
he's
cash,
cash,
homie.
And this is the thing,
Greatest
nothing ever
ever.
resolved from like the fact that when he came back, it was anything. But when he said, bring your 84 jerseys out, I'm
Oh
back
my
home.
God.
That still
Those
makes
moments.
me happy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
I was like sitting in like,
And we
state-
never won
song.
shit.
but it didn't matter
Yeah.
in a weird way. Him just giving us that
Yeah.
was everything
But
I
that's
needed.
our age group. too. That's very
Yeah,
particular.
like young Vikings fans are gonna go, who the fuck is Randy
Straight
Moss?
cash on me. What
Like,
do you mean?
oh, what do you
Oh,
mean?
they know
First
who
of all,
Randy
what's
is.
And then
cash?
Gritty's gonna get, and then they're gonna Gritty, and I'm gonna have to kick them in the nuts
Yeah.
because the Gritty. I love Justin Jefferson. It's the most annoying thing I've ever seen.
I like a good gritty.
But I hate every fucking team doing it against us.
That's annoying.
Every fucking basketball player, everyone's grittying. But look,
Yes.
that's what builds his thing. And then I saw him sitting ringside the other night at or a couple weeks ago at the UFC fight. He's got his grills on. I was like, get out of Miami, bro. Don't be in Miami in the off season. Go
worst
home,
place to be.
please.
The worst
Do you
place to
see?
be.
Yeah. So what's going on with JJ this offseason? Okay, I saw him at UFC. I saw him in Madrid. He was with the Real
Let
Madrid.
him have a little fun.
He's having
guys.
fun.
He was. So what? How are you training? What are you doing, buddy? Are you
Um,
training?
That's what's scary. So look, with the Randy Moss comparison again,
True.
you brought up a good point. Him taking plays off. I've noticed throughout games when just like Kirk throws a pass over the middle and it's just easy pick. There's no receiver in the area, and you see him put up his hands, and you see they show Justin Jefferson's route, and he just gave up on it. He didn't run it out, and I'm like, that reminds me. That's that cocky shit. And sometimes he gets mad at Kirk, and you see his body language and his demeanor, and he like takes his helmet off,
But they
pissed
have a
off, and
way
it's like,
better relationship than him and Diggs.
yeah, well, but that's the scary part is like
It
that
could leave
diva
though.
in
Once
him.
it flips
Yeah,
and
so,
you start hating Kirk. Once you hate Kirk, it's done.
and if you're mad at Kirk now and Kirk leaves next year and we get a rookie quarterback who
Yeah.
sucks or isn't ready, he's going to get pissed and he's going to start acting like Randy. So we got to, like, that's what scares me is like, let's see when times are bad. When we're winning, it's great. When we start losing and we win we have a 6-win season, Justin could become a big problem.
But if we get Hooker and they become like a best friend buddy comedy,
well, yeah, you hope they're
and
great.
that could be
but
the
if
craziest.
he sucks, Jefferson might be like, "Get me the fuck out of here," because
Yeah.
I'm better than this. That's what scares me. But it's that's what you get. You get the highs and the lows. You want a diva, you want that top wide receiver. You got to be prepared to deal with the bad times too.
That's right.
And that's
then,
the way
so
it was
what's
with
going on
Randy.
his contract here. I'm worried about that.
Well, they just I don't know if
yeah.
you saw today. We signed the 5th-year option, so he gets $19.7 million this year.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it
Okay.
just came
right
in
before.
right before we
Reportedly
started.
pick up his 5th year for
I love
2024.
Frozen.
Okay, so
Yeah,
but
but that just
so
gives us
we're gonna have to
time.
re-sign him 2025. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, they could even sign him in a week. Like, it's just to buy us some time and show him that we are committed to him and we are going to negotiate the contract further. But
We'll cut anybody to
Mhm.
keep him on.
oh no, he's staying.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him the biggest contract for a wide receiver in NFL history. He's
Does he?
gonna be.
Do you guys feel like he wants to stay? Legit question.
I do.
I think if the money's right and we're committed to throwing, he has no reason not to stay.
So like
first
Minnesota
two
though,
best
right?
seasons ever.
Like, does he want to stay in Minnesota? Right. That's always my like qualm here. I look at these guys like Anthony Edwards and superstars. Like, do they want to stay in Minnesota? Like Carlos
Are you
Correa
saying because of
on
like the
Twins.
franchise, or are you saying
I know
because
I'm
of the
correlating
state?
on other
City.
sports here, but like Carlos Correa on the Twins was going to go to the Giants and the Mets, and it was like these big market teams. What's the argument here that JJ likes Minnesota, that he wants to stay? I don't hear
I
any
think there's a
comments
lot
like
of guys
that
that actually
he
do like
loves
Minnesota.
it here.
though.
Go ahead.
I think there's a lot of guys that actually do like Minnesota, and a lot of them that stay and come back. In general, like what the problem is, particularly with the Timberwolves, is the fucking ownership. So that's a whole other side, especially when we had Glenn, and now the new ownership is whatever. So the Timberwolves are completely aside. Whatever. Don't get me fucking started.
Catch us on Wolves Weekly on a different channel.
Exactly. I don't. Why would you not want to stay in Minnesota? Like, you've got a great franchise. If you get a great young, we've got a great young GM. We've got a great young head coach, especially if he gets along with them and things start thriving. I don't really see that Minnesota being a problem as a franchise like it was in the
Okay, good.
past.
He's from
I don't.
Louisiana. He's
I
not
hope
from
you're
New
right.
York.
That's what I was
Right.
worried about, is him trying to go to some place like New Orleans to play there.
He could.
Maybe.
He absolutely
I
could.
think
If he
that-
wants to
that
go
makes
back
sense.
and be an LSU kid,
That
through and
makes
through,
sense.
sure, that makes a lot
But
of sense.
that's still a small market team. Minnesota's a small market team, but we still have the appeal of being, I want to call it a medium
We
size.
play indoors,
Yes.
beautiful stadium.
Yep.
The Wilf family's committed to spending money.
You're
you
out of
know.
the cold come January. Get whatever.
Yeah, no, he can spend his summers wherever the fuck he wants.
Exactly.
The fear is always You start to play poorly. Quarterback can't give him that 15 to 1,700 yard season. And then you start looking at, Miami's real fucking fun. New York has, crazy city. I can be making a lot of money in LA.
Except you live in Jersey.
That's the fear of
that's
it.
where
New
New York teams really are, is Jersey.
But all these
Yeah.
big market
No one
teams
talks
I
about
just
don't
mean
have
the marketing money.
I know.
the big market teams' fan bases suck.
Yeah.
They do.
Like New York teams' fan bases are great, but
they boo you
they're brutal
2
to their
seconds,
teams.
yeah.
But at least they're loyal to their teams.
Yeah.
They're all. But then you get in like these sunny cities,
Like no one wants to be
like
a Ram.
Miami, LA. Like you win the Super Bowl or Ram, and everyone's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, nobody cares.
And so,
But if you go to a Dallas,
Sure.
that's when it starts. Like if fucking Jerry Jones, if I see him hanging out with Jerry Jones, I'm gonna freak out.
Dallas can steal anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got this. They got the star.
Mhm. That's right.
But I think we're good
maybe
for a
I'm
few
just being
years
a little
at least.
insecure here with having Justin, but obviously a biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind to pick up his last year option on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
But what does that do then? So then Kirk, let's talk about Kirk. Is he out then after this next year?
I think. Well, okay.
Depends
So
what
he's
happens.
signed 2 franchise tags already, and you can only sign 3 in your career.
Mm.
So it rolls over. So he signed 2 with Washington. Came to us because they were like, I'm not signing him to a 3rd because it multiplies every time. So you get like it's the franchise tag is the top 5 paid at your position,
Right.
the average. But it will be plus, I believe now, a 20% kicker on top. So Kirk would have to get paid like $60 million on a franchise
So
tag.
nobody will do it.
So no one, including us, are doing that. But nobody likes to bet on himself more than Kirk Cousins. He's going to play this year out on the 1 year. And then he's really like, it's up to him. Like if he plays an amazing season and we go, we want to re-sign you, he can name his price because there's no other option. He can say, give me $50 million because that's cheaper than a franchise tag, which is going to be insane. So I don't think he can possibly come back next year because it'll just be too expensive.
Yeah. So we have to get somebody.
So it's this year win, which we're not going to do, unfortunately, or find the successor.
So we have to draft a quarterback.
How about a trade
Or
with the
else we'll put it-
Niners?
No,
Do you see that?
No,
Oh,
we
the
don't.
Trey Lance thing? I would do it.
No.
I like it
I like
just
Trey
as
Lance.
another guy in the locker room. But it depends what it costs.
Yeah.
I mean, not like 1-for-1 with Trey Lance.
No.
Obviously, you got to spice it up with some picks here, right? But like, isn't Trey Lance like 21 as well?
He's a child.
Like,
And
he's like shockingly young.
dynamic.
So
Yeah. But we don't know what he is. They were willing. They saw enough that they were willing to hedge everything and move up for him. And then it just, by the grace of God, lucked out on Brock Purdy. But I would take that risk in a second. I'm not giving up a first for him. I would give up a 3rd at best. But I would love to do that.
who's the Niners starting quarterback?
Brock
It's
Purdy.
not Purdy.
Yeah, it's Purdy.
Is he going to come back? I heard
They
his
said-
elbow was
oh,
pretty
oh.
mangled.
Yeah, so if healthy, it's Purdy. Like that's who they named as the starter. But week 1, it will most likely be Trey Lance. And if he's not available, if he's also hurt, Sam Darnold they picked up just as like a safety net.
Oh, right. Yeah, forget about him. Yeah.
Guys
Yeah,
don't
I
lose
know.
much time
I've
with
been
injury
hearing a lot
anymore.
about this trade
No.
with the Niners. I'm hoping it's nothing, but you never know with Kwesi. We still don't really know Kwesi, right? I mean, he's still an unknown
This
commodity.
is
we don't.
Thursday.
we don't know
We'll
enough about
I think
him
we
and-
get to know him.
Yeah. 100%.
What about so let's talk about another elephant in the room. Zadarius and Daniil Hunter.
What did he say?
Both of them are
Zadarius
in
and
back or
Daniil
what?
Hunter.
What about them? What's the deal with them?
Daniil Hunter wiped his Instagram, is like players often do when they're unhappy with their contracts, right?
Sure.
He just drives fast cars.
Zadarius tweeted a goodbye to the Vikings fans, but somehow
then
both of them
still
are still
here.
on our roster.
So annoying.
Daniil won't go anywhere. He said something about wanting to stay. I think he's happy. He just wants to drive fast cars, which scares the shit out of me. Every day, this guy's in like a Porsche Turbo on a Canyon.
Yeah, but he's with like Eric Hendricks and shit. Like they're all buddies.
Oh,
and
get
driving
it!
fast
I don't need
cars
him in
and-
the fast car
True.
driving around. This guy's our
True.
entire
Anthony Barr,
defense.
yeah, they're all kicking it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Zadarius Smith. Yeah, I mean, he had a good season. I think he knows he can get paid somewhere, and he's like, get me the fuck out of here because I'm being offered contracts by other teams secretly behind closed doors.
And he just fell off.
Yeah, the
That
second half, he
sucked.
was nothing.
It was so weird. I was like, oh my God, this is our defense. Like, it was brand new. It was
Right.
fun, good energy.
After he had that knee thing, it was done for him.
Yeah,
That
no, our
sucked.
defense was not dynamic whatsoever in the second half of the season.
Well, he did have 10 sacks, so people kind of like, talk about that a lot.
Yeah, in the first 9 games.
Double-digit sacks. But, I didn't really think Daniil was that dominant this year as he has in the past.
No.
You guys
No.
feel that way too?
Absolutely.
They never
We
called the
talked
number.
about it like constantly
Yeah.
last season.
But he
Yeah,
had
it's
some
just
he had
like-
some big
it was
games, he had
stupid
the
to see. It's like-
moments.
Because
but
especially
not
we had to
consistent.
hold our breath and wait for 1 year and get him back. And like, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, yeah.
No.
We agree with you. He was not
100%.
exciting. I mean, we all love him so much, and we know what he can be when he's healthy and given the right system and given help on the other side. I expected at least 15 sack season out of him, and he did not give us that. But I still believe in him, and he's a fucking what a freak. He's an elite pass rusher. I'm not writing him off because of one season of a shitty
I
ass
do like the
scheme.
Davenport pickup. Makes it a little bit better if he walks.
Oh, you can't walk. We're not gonna lie. I don't think he's
No.
walking.
Not
Za'Darius
I
gone.
think he's got. It's got to be a trade, correct?
Yeah. But I think he's staying. I think we have our like veterans at each level. Like we've got Harrison Smith in the back. We've got Daniil up front.
Mhm.
The middle's a mess. I need this draft. What day
Thursday.
is it?
Yeah,
Thursday, man.
Dallas.
I'm coming
ready.
up.
It's coming
So,
up.
so
Well,
let me ask you this here: who do you like at linebacker, Luke?
I actually sent it to Katya Edwards. What was his name? David Edwards,
oh, yes, you
the
did send
pursuit
this to me.
linebacker. Of course, I'm gonna blank now. This kid's a beast. He went to Alabama, or he was an Alabama recruit out of high school. Played 2 years, but just got lost in the shuffle of so many. Like, couldn't stand out on tape because they're just stacked.
And then where did he go?
And then he went to a smaller school, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
He went
Yep.
to Arkansas,
Yep.
which I love that he
Oh yeah.
could have stayed and
Yep.
competed for another national championship and been part of that monster defense, but he decided I want to go to a smaller school where I can stand out, and ended up being a finalist for the linebacker trophy and led
He's playing
his
Moneyball.
conference
He's playing
in
the long
sacks.
game.
I like those
Are you
guys that get
talking
lost
about
in the
Drew
sauce and then
Sanders?
Yeah. No, that's
Yes,
amazing.
that's it. Drew Sanders.
Drew Sanders.
Yeah.
I told you I was high on that guy from Iowa, Jack Campbell.
Yeah,
I'd like
no,
to
he's
see him in the
beast.
third round. I also like this
What's going
guy.
on in West Hollywood?
Kind of been shooting up my draft board here. Henry 200. What do you think of him?
I haven't. Sorry, we're in the middle of a
think
war
we-
zone.
Bama.
yeah,
Bama
someone
guy.
should check Citizen app. I think we got like
Seriously.
a murder somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't do as much research on those guys. Jack Campbell is a freak, but 200, I know him as a great player. I just haven't done the psycho sit down and watch every play
These
of
are
his
some
career.
guys. These are some guys I'm just taking off of the mock drafts that people have made for the Vikings.
Yeah,
and I see a lot
not
of
in the
people
first
taking
round.
200 and Jack Campbell, third, fourth round kind of spots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, once you get deeper, Ivan Pace from Cincinnati's a guy I like.
Okay.
Demario Overshawn from Texas is another one. There's so many. Like, once you get past the first 32 players of the draft, now you've got, what is it, 236 players, something like that. Like, now that's such a bigger world.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
hoping we
after
nail the
Thursday,
first.
do you then kind of regroup and
Then
then
I'll
catch up with
rewatch.
what?
Rewatch.
Yeah, we need to get that first one in, or if we trade back, I could see us that's happened to me before, where because so Thursday is only the first round,
Yeah.
and then it's multiple rounds every day after that.
Right.
So if you don't get a pick in on Thursday, like that's your day, like shit. So I can see us trading back to like the beginning of the second and just being like, well, I waited
was
all day
fun.
for nothing.
Right.
But
Yeah, so
I'll
give me
revisit.
a percentage here. The Vikes taken in the first round. If you had to flip a coin, what are we feeling here? 70, 80%?
I think most likely we keep the pick. I'd say 80% we keep it. I think of that then 80% to start a new percentage, it would be like 80% taking a cornerback, maybe an edge rusher.
Come on up. You guys are good.
But yeah, I think I keep seeing wide receiver, but I hope we
Yeah.
don't.
No way.
That
I
was
hate
just-
first round ride.
Well, you don't like if Jackson Smith Jigba
If
falls.
he's there, I love it, but I don't see him still being there. I think he'll be the first receiver off the board. I think it'll be more like a Zay Flowers, who again I like. We just
Or
don't.
Jordan Addison.
We don't need it. Jordan Addison, I love as well, being a USC guy,
I
especially.
think Zay Flowers is out because he's the agent of Dalvin Cook.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, Dalvin Cook's agent. So
Which name?
I'm hearing Flowers is out, and there's another wide receiver that's potentially out because of that. Dalvin Cook's agent is not happy with the Vikings.
Well,
What I
Dalvin
understand.
Cook agent, he'll be fine. He'll get over it.
They're like party boys, right?
Yeah, they'll get
They
over it.
party
They're
with
like
their
hanging
talent.
with Nelk. Like,
I'm curious
they're
to see
good.
who's willing to take Dalvin and what we get in return, because
Right.
we're going to have to pay
Well,
part of that
okay,
contract.
obviously like Miami, but how about the Bengals?
I mean, if the Bengals are ready to move on from Joe Mixon because of all of his controversy this offseason, I don't know what Alvin Kamara is facing. They picked up Jamal Williams, the Saints, but it's mostly because Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended because of a incident.
Well,
But you put
What happened?
Dalvin
Oh,
Cook in
yeah.
a two-back
Yeah.
system.
You can't.
At
Yeah,
this age, you
yeah. No, he's not
unfortunately
going to be a.
you're a two-back guy.
Yeah,
Like
you're
that's
not
just
giving
the way
him
it
20
is.
carries. You're not giving him
No.
full workload. I mean, even if Dallas whiffs on trying to get Bijan and they just can't get it done, they need a second back to complement Tony Pollard. I could definitely
Yeah.
That'd be
Dalvin
sick.
stepping
Tony
into
Pollard
that.
got hurt pretty bad too.
Yeah,
at the end of
no,
the
Yeah.
they need a
see
legitimate
that.
like somebody to take 12 to 15 carries a
Yeah.
game. Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many still available on free agency. We talked about Jerick McKinnon, Leonard Fournette,
Fournette.
Zeke.
Yeah.
It's tough to get a deal. Like we could be getting a 5th or 6th
Yeah.
rounder for Dalvin Cook, which is so sad
Which is
because
wild.
we know his value the last 5 years.
I want McKinnon back.
We could have him. He's
Well,
he's
McKinnon.
there. He's available. It's a mess of a market, man.
All right, guys, we got to wrap this up.
I love it. Well, this is Vikings Weekly. We are going to be live from Barney's Beanery Thursday. What time does the draft start?
5.
5 o'clock. So we'll probably
Coverage
be on like
3.
a half hour before it
Yeah.
starts. So you can catch us
Got a
on.
lot of fun people
Yep.
going to be coming on. Not
I'm
just
just-
Vikings fans. We got a lot of great NFL analysis depth.
Yeah.
Some like really crazy psychotic characters that you've probably seen drinking at Barney's Beanery that you know and love.
Yeah, it's a true Purple Banter
Yeah.
live. Like it's going to be all the casting characters out here going wild. So
Yes.
love it. Skull Vikes.
Skull Vikes.
Take care. Thanks, guys.